You're about to put out the 20th anniversary edition of version 2.0. So congratulations, you made it. You survived the industry.
I did survive the industry, which is somewhat, it's tough. It's a tough business, and I'm very lucky, and I'm thrilled to, be able to celebrate a 20th anniversary this far into my career.
People always talk about 90s nostalgia, and I think Garbage is one of the few bands that has managed to transcend being pigeonholed into a decade in a way that's very impressive. You're part of this very select few musicians who are still around and successful. What was the secret to such a long-term career?
If I knew the answer to that, I'd be a really rich woman. I'm not. I don't know. I'm tough. My band are tough, and we've always approached music with sort of an open mind, and I think that has really helped us all.
Yeah, I imagine it's even harder for women when there's the additional pressure of also having to present themselves maybe sometimes as sexual objects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to be honest, everything is just a little bit harder for women across the board, across the globe.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of pressure on me to sexually objectify myself. But again, I was tough enough to resist that. I knew that would be not good for my career if I really allowed myself to be overtly sexualized.
What was it like to listen to yourself when doing the remastering of the record? Do you recognize the girl who wrote those lyrics 20 years ago? Do you connect to the songs when you were revisiting them? Or do you feel a disconnection maybe from that type of pain and anguish and anger? What was the experience of revisiting the songs like?
Well, I don't know what this says about me, but I still connect with these songs. I still identify with them, and I think that's one of the advantages of having made the version 2.0 when we were older than your average musician who's making that. That makes any sense. So the themes are all adult anyway, so they've remained true throughout my life.
In 1998, you released a song called When I Grow Up, which said, when I grow up, I'll be stable. When I grow up, I'll turn the tables. How do you feel about that statement now that you're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the record? Do you think that came true, or?
I guess I feel like I've let myself down a little because I haven't grown up in the way that I thought I would. I feel still, I don't feel very, I'm not very mature. I'm not very sussed out. I never got it right. I got everything wrong.
You're being tough on yourself.
I'm always tough on myself.
Yeah.
I'm kind of joking actually in that, I didn't ever grow up in the conforming way that we're expected to grow up, I guess. I'm being flippant in that. I'm glad I never grew up in the way we're all supposed to grow up,
You have been very open and very explicit when it came to dealing with depression and self-doubt in your lyrics and in your work, and on print too when doing interviews. How are you today, and do you have something to say to the people who might be coping with similar issues but perhaps might not have a creative outlet like music?
Well, I think I came from a generation that didn't speak about mental health issues ever. And when my generation started speaking out, I know for a fact it helped a lot of our fans, and I've received many, many letters over the years and messages on social media and so on. We're all in the same boat. I think human beings really struggle to just exist sometimes, and we, as human beings, we're always in flux, and one minute we feel like it's the end of the world, and then the next again day, something wonderful happens. So I think we put it best in one of the songs, 2.0, which is The Trick is to Keep Breathing, which is based on a book about mental health, and just the title of that song is a great directive. Just keep breathing, put one foot in front of the other, and life eventually, turns around no matter what.
Yeah, I love that song, by the way.
Thank you.
On a more positive note, I wanted to ask you what is your favorite thing about yourself, and what are you most proud of everything that you have accomplished in the last 20, 25 years?
Oh, God, I've never been asked that question. Bloody hell. The thing I like the most about myself probably is my passion. Like, I'm really passionate about everything. And that has served me well in my life. I'm really grateful that I am still passionate about living in the world. Especially, as a woman, as you get older, you need to have that kind of energy. You need to find your energy from brings that to me. So, I like that. That's the thing I like the most about myself, I guess. But what was the second half of the question?
The second part of the question is, what do you feel most proud of everything that you have accomplished in the last 20 years?
I guess that we're still together as a band. That I think I'm really proud of, that we haven't killed each other, that we've remained loyal to each other, and that we still make music together. I think that's pretty incredible,
Sure. Okay, so this is a long question, but I'm getting there. So identity politics and gender politics have been a part of your band since day one. And one of the things that I truly appreciate about you is that you have always highlighted the art of your female peers, especially in a time where women in music were being pitted against each other for the one radio spot. And you have also always been very informed about what's going on in Argentina in regards to gender politics. And right now there's this debate concerning abortion being penalized, and it's really discussed right now. So I wanted to ask you if you feel comfortable, what you felt about that subject matter, if you have anything to say.
Well, I mean, you've probably put it best yourself. I mean, I've been long on the record as a supporter of women's rights my entire career, and I believe that women are of value, and I believe that women are more valuable than an unconscious, unborn fetus. And I know that it's an emotional subject and that people get very upset, often over emotion, put so much emotion on the idea of an unborn fetus. However, I believe that a conscious, sentient female has to be valued in this life and be given rights and be allowed to have agency over her own body and her future.
Yeah.
What people seem to forget, in the debate about an unborn fetus versus a cognizant woman. And I believe that when people start telling their bodies, it's yet another form of violence against women.
Sure.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. Are you aware of what's going on musically here right now? I know you're friends with Barbie from Utopians.
Mm-hmm. I am friends with Barbie. I respect her enormously, and I think she's incredibly talented. And we sort of fell in love with each other when we met, almost instantaneously. And I know that she herself caught up in the Me Too situation in Argentina, and again the sort of violence against women. And so, I think she stood up against the patriarchy, and I'm really proud of her.
I also wanted to take a chance to recommend you a band that from here that I think you might really like. It's from this great queer musician who has a band called Zero Kill, and they have repeatedly talked about your influence on their music, so check them out.
Oh, cool. I will definitely check them out.
Yeah, Zero Kill, and the
Okay.
Zero Kill, and the record is Alien Head.
All right, I'll definitely check it out, I promise.
We should be capping off because time is near the end. But I wanted to ask you, will you bring the tour to Argentina, and what are your upcoming projects? I recently interviewed Butch, and he told me you were already recording new material for Garbage that's supposed to come out maybe next year.
Yeah, I mean, we are working on new material. We've been writing over the last couple of weeks. We've got one more week of writing to go, and then we'll sort of be back in the studio putting a record together. So it's pretty exciting for us. And meanwhile, we are hoping to come to South. Been discussions between our agent and some promoters in Argentina. So fingers crossed they can make it happen. I
Exciting.
really hope they can.
Yeah.
It is exciting, yeah. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Shirley, it's been a pleasure. I wish you good fortune. I loved your music for so long, and you have always stood up for great causes and gave visibility to mental health and inspired others to do the same. So much love, and I hope you have a great day.
Much love back to you, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Me too. Bye.
All right, bye.